What's up, guys? It's Robert Rule of 2 Review here, and today, Microsoft's new boss tells gamers what we want to hear. Well, the news out of Microsoft just seems to keep on coming. It was revealed today that its new head of games, which is apparently a title, head of games, quote unquote, is going to be the one and only Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer is somebody who we've been following. His previous position I can't seem to find. I think he was an executive. I know he had a nickname that was the Games Guy, and he's now become the head of games, head of Xbox. We've seen him over the last few years doing a lot of the main hosting and presentation for Microsoft's E3 conferences for the Xbox. I think he's a pretty good guy. He's a weird cross between a completely genuine gamer type of fellow and a semi-skeezy, undermined kind of executive for a huge company like Microsoft, which honestly pretty much all of the guys in these positions across all these companies really are both of those things. But you know, I still for the most part would probably have to say that I like Phil Spencer. And this news comes on the heels of a bunch of other personnel switching that's been going on at Microsoft. So it's very interesting. Going back to when Don Mattrick left the company right after the Xbox One launched and then moved to Zynga Games, which was a whole controversy in and of itself, considering a lot of the crazy decisions and the public outcry due to the decisions and the things that Microsoft was doing with the Xbox One, both leading up to the console's launch and the switching that they did of those policies beforehand and everything since it launched. It's weird. There's just been Microsoft, I can't really put my finger on the company. I can't put my finger on you, Microsoft. I can't really tell exactly what it is you're doing, where you're trying to go. One thing that is definitely evident to me, and hopefully to a lot of you, is that I think you want to do the right things. Obviously, you want to be successful. You know, that's one thing. And in being successful, I think that you have been trying to implement ideas coming from multiple different facets of the business and trying to funnel it down into your Xbox and gaming division. And it's funny because we know that, you know, some recent new personnel in the company has been talking about and considering maybe even dumping Xbox altogether and just selling the brand to another company, which I actually always wanted to do a video on that information, but I never really got around to it. And it's not really relevant at this point anyway. But it just kind of shows all the different angles that they seem to be approaching this from. And so they dealt with these decisions they were making with the Xbox One, then the fact that everyone said we don't want those, and they made this crazy unprecedented move of reversing most of those decisions. They initially created the Xbox One to be this all-in-one entertainment hub, and the Kinect is included at a $100 extra price for the sake of making the UI and the internet surfing and TV and video application usage easier, quote unquote, you know, and voice compatible and all these things. And it's, you know, still supposed to be this incredibly powerful HD next-gen system. And while that appears to be true, it also seems to be lacking in comparison to its more direct competition, the PlayStation 4, which to me really isn't that big of a deal, but it has become a big deal in the industry amongst fellow, you know, gaming journalists and fellow gamers. It's like this huge conversation everybody's always talking about. And it's just and now here they are trying to say, and I'm going to read some quotes in a minute, talking about trying to be focused on the gamer going forward. And it's the thing is that idea obviously is great, and I'm actually really happy. This is mostly a positive video and discussion I want to have about Microsoft and these things that they're doing. But it just kind of shows how, I don't want to say they're being wishy-washy, even though that obviously would be an appropriate adjective. It's just hard to figure out who they are. You know, it's hard for us gamers to put an identity on Microsoft in the gaming space when it feels like they don't even know what their own identity is. And everything, the Xbox One to me kind of signifies this lost identity for Microsoft, that they've been all over the place with this thing. And, you know, it came out and it had a typically strong launch month, you know, and week and stuff. But it's been kind of struggling since then, you know, very similar to what the Wii U went through. And so it's just kind of, you know, curious to see what they're doing, switching all this personnel, like I said, now taking somebody who's a very public, you know, well-known and recognizable figure for the company like Phil Spencer and, you know, moving him as like the third person in the last several months to take over this position as the head of Xbox. And he's now basically trying to reroute the company's focus. So I'll get into some of the things he said and my overall thoughts on it. Okay, so sadly, I just tried to pull up some of the quotes that I found earlier, direct quotes from Phil Spencer about his new position and Microsoft's renewed focus on gamers moving forward. And for some reason, the articles and quotes that I found not even 20 or 30 minutes ago, I'm not going to lie, I kind of am struggling to find. So that's okay. I can paraphrase enough and still get the ideas across for what it was that's going on. The ultimate gist of what he was saying is fairly straightforward. It's exactly what it sounds. In mentioning how they want to have this renewed focus on the core gamer. And some of the things that I remembered reading directly from these quotes were that he was acknowledging how a lot of the all-in-one applications, such as TV and video applications, it's sports deals, things like an exclusive contract for NFL content and stuff for the next several years, is all very important. He wasn't trying to negate that or renege on a lot of the previous emphasis that they've put on those things. He said, these things are important and they will continue to be important. However, it's still the gamer and the gamer-centric experience and pleasing that audience of ours / Microsoft's that is going to remain the number one focus and be even a larger push going down the road. Again, that was all completely paraphrased from my brain, but I promise you that is almost exactly what he was saying. That was the exact things he was getting across. And I personally, as a gamer and an Xbox fan, even though it's my least favorite of the three major consoles, I'm still a fan. I like that. I appreciate that. Those are the right things to say and to do. Of course, saying them and doing them are two different things. So it's going to be a matter of Microsoft and Phil Spencer stepping up to the plate and delivering on these promises and these ideas that he's trying to get across. But I don't know, man. I ultimately feel like they probably are going to do that. I don't think that they're going to totally drop the ball. Something else he said in a quote is how this last year has been a growth experience for both himself and for the company and the Xbox division. Obviously referring to things like the reveal of the Xbox One, all the DRM policies, people's reaction to them, their reversing of them, and now here they are just a couple of months into the new console cycle, and it's doing okay, but it's also kind of struggling at the same time. So I think that they are and have been learning a lot about where this generation of gamers is, where the demographic is resting, and what it is that we want, and trying to figure out how to not fuck that up anymore. And I appreciate that. As much as Nintendo is my favorite company, they've fucked up, and I wish that they would be a little bit more honest and open with how much they understand they have recently fucked up. So I really definitely applaud Phil Spencer and Microsoft for all of these statements and what it is that they seem to be doing. Again, it's going to really come down to if they deliver on these promises. I think they will. I also respect and understand the idea of still keeping the other things that they've done at kind of I don't want to say the forefront, but as a huge part of the business model that is the Xbox One, definitely seems to make sense to me. I mean, if anything, they have to still keep some conviction in their messaging as well as their product and what it is that they're trying to do with it. I think that when it comes to something like this, even though it's not for me, the idea of this all-in-one entertainment hub and all this stuff and everything that Kinect is doing, it's not for me, but I still only want to tell them to believe in it. You can't do it and then be kind of wishy-washy about was this a good idea? Was it not? Is it cool? Is it not? Should you use it? Should you not use it? They can't really do that. I mean, the way to be successful is to treat yourself like you're goddamn successful. And you say, yes, this is what we do. This is our Xbox One. This is why it's cool and good. And these are the things that you should like about it because we're telling you. That conviction and, and confidence in your product and your messaging just does wonders. I mean, people believe it simply because you do, and people believe it simply because you tell them they need to. That's the way it's got to be. So even though I don't want it to be the forefront of what they do, I definitely want them to still be a confident, successful company in the game space. So I want them to just back up their system and say, this is great, and this is why it's great, and you should see these things too. Obviously, not everyone is going to, and that's just the way it is with any of the three consoles. But still, you get as much, you garner as much respect and success from gamers as you put into it, and those are the kinds of attitudes you need to put into it to get that kind of success back from us, from the gamer. You're going to get our gaming dollar if you do these things right. So in talking about and thinking about them moving forward with the renewed focus on gamers and gaming, like I said, I believe them. I think that's going to be the right choice. I don't know what it is we have to look forward to right now. The Xbox One, I don't know what's coming out soon. I mean, Titanfall just came out, not exclusive because it's on PC, but as far as console space, it's exclusive. And goddamn, I can't wait to play that. I swear to God, be buying an Xbox One so I can play that. I just keep choosing what I want to spend my money on, honestly. And we know Halo 5 is supposed to be this year, but recently some rumors have been coming out suggesting that it is going to end up slipping to next year, 2015. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Other than that, I mean, Quantum Break is a game, but we only know that it's a game. We don't know anything about it, nor do we know when to expect it. And I'm trying to think. Sunset Overdrive actually, I think, looks awesome, but we know nothing about it or when it's coming either. So we just don't know. We don't have games on our radar. It's like a video I made just a few days ago where I was discussing specifically both the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 because the Wii U does not have this problem. But the Xbox One, both these other systems, Xbox, PlayStation, they have this problem where the foreseeable future, they're in almost their entire library, 99% of it, is like the same games, the same material, the same experiences on both systems. So even though some of those games will probably be really good, I mean, none of those titles are going to sell the gaming public on any of their respective systems because it's like, well, I can play it on all three systems or these two systems. So it's like, what does it even matter? I mean, you need some exclusives, Microsoft, you need some games coming out that sell why the Xbox One is awesome, why you think it's awesome, why the Kinect matters, why you want to play games on your Xbox One. If you're going to make it a renewed focus on gamers and gaming, this is what you need to do. I'm sure eventually that stuff is going to come. When we think about what gaming with this generation is going to be like in 2016, all three of these next-gen consoles are going to be having a lot of their own things going on and a lot of their own unique libraries. I know the PlayStation 4 will have that stuff too. I know the Xbox One will have it too. It took the Wii U a flippin' year before it had any of this stuff, and now it has a ton, but that was a whole year. And so we're only in the first year of the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. We're only in the first year. So we just certainly have to give them time. I just hope that stuff starts coming soon. Talking about this nebulous release date in game, The Order 1886, and this nebulous release date for Halo 5 and Sunset Overdrive, give us more. We need more. We need to see and know that these things are coming. But, we can't forget, I'm going to wrap up here. We can't forget that E3, it's not just around the corner, but it's a few months down the road. I mean, we'll be seeing E3 pretty soon. And I'm willing to bet Microsoft is going to be coming with a bunch of exciting content, Don't just talk about Metal Gear frickin' Solid 5 and the next Grand Theft Auto, because we know those are coming out on all the systems. We care, but we don't care. Show us the things that are coming out only on your Xbox One, or your PlayStation or your Nintendo. Show us those things, because that is going to make the difference, and it's going to sell us on your system and why your system is awesome. Alrighty, guys. Well, that's it for my take on Microsoft and the Phil Spencer news and all of the news surrounding the renewed focus on gamers. I kind of went all over the place. I guess I didn't really end up sticking on that topic too long, but still, I think everything I touched on today was pretty relevant to the whole idea. So, of course, if you like what I'm doing and if you're enjoying Rule of Two Review, then please subscribe to the channel. That helps me out and the channel big time. If you like the video, then please like it and share your comments and your thoughts about Microsoft and the Xbox One below. And thank you so much as always for tuning in, guys, and I'll catch you next time.